Imagine this. You're the kind of person everyone loves. The friend who always helps. The colleague who always covers for others. The family member who never says no. You're good, generous, honest. The kind of person people tell themselves they'll never get hurt. They're safe. But here's the twist. Being good doesn't make you safe. Not in the slightest. In fact, your goodness might be the very thing that leaves you exposed. Let me explain. Goodness is powerful. It builds trust, opens doors, and creates bonds. But like a weapon without training, it can backfire. When you always say yes, always give, always forgive, you send a signal to the world that you won't fight back. That boundaries are optional. That your time, energy, and heart are available on demand. And humans, especially the ones who take advantage, notice this. They see a path of least resistance. They see someone they can use. And before you even realize it, your kindness has been weaponized against you. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone relentlessly generous, only to watch them get overlooked for promotions, forgotten in friendships, or betrayed by the very people they helped? That's no coincidence. That's the hidden cost of being good without strategy. Niccolò Machiavelli, the master observer of power and human nature, said it best. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. You see, being good without strategy is like being a sheep among wolves. And history is full of stories of good people destroyed, not by their enemies, but by their own blind generosity. Now, I'm not telling you to stop being good. That's not the lesson. The lesson is this. Goodness alone is powerless. Left unchecked, it can leave you vulnerable, exhausted, and unnoticed. But used wisely, it becomes a weapon, a shield, and a tool for real influence. So here's your first task. Take a moment. Type this in the comments. I choose strategic goodness. This is your declaration. From this moment, your kindness will no longer be a weakness. It will be purposeful, calculated, effective. And in the next part, we'll dive into the first shocking truth about how blind goodness exposes you, and how to protect yourself without losing your humanity. Trust me, once you see it, you'll never look at being good the same way again. Let's take a moment to zoom in on a truth that most people don't want to admit. Being good can make you invisible in the wrong ways. You know the person I'm talking about, the one who is always there, always ready to help, always ready to listen, always ready to sacrifice their own time and energy. They never say no. They never push back. They are the go-to for everyone else's problems. At first, people love them. They say, wow, they're amazing. So generous. So kind. And that feels incredible. But here's the trap. The more predictable your goodness becomes, the less respect it commands. Think about it. If someone never defends their own boundaries, never asserts themselves, and never protects their own interests, what do others see? A person without limits. Someone easy to manipulate. A soft target. I knew someone like this once, a brilliant, kind, hardworking team manager. He always went the extra mile, covered for his teammates, stayed late to help, and put everyone else's needs first. He did everything right, except for one crucial thing. He never said no. Guess what happened? He got passed over for promotion. Why? Because in the eyes of others, he didn't look like a leader. He looked like a servant. And when people see someone who is always good, without boundaries, without strategy, without control, they don't respect them. They exploit them. This isn't a hypothetical. It's human nature. People test the limits of kindness. They probe for weakness. They push until you give, because your goodness tells them it's safe to do so. And once they know your limits, or worse, that you have none, they will cross every boundary again and again. Being good in a vacuum makes you exposed. Machiavelli explained it centuries ago. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Your challenge, your first strategy for mastering strategic goodness, is to learn to protect yourself while staying kind. This means saying no when it matters, setting boundaries without guilt, showing strength where people expect softness. This isn't cruelty. It's survival. It's being smart about your energy, your reputation, and your influence. So here's your action. Type this in the comments right now. I protect my energy. From this moment, you're declaring that your kindness has limits, that your generosity has purpose, that your goodness is strategic, not blind. In the next part, we'll uncover the generosity trap, why giving too much can backfire, and how to turn generosity into a tool that earns respect instead of creating dependency. And trust me, what you're about to learn next will change the way you see every act of kindness you give and receive. Now that you understand how being too good can leave you exposed, let's talk about something even more dangerous, the generosity trap. You might think generosity is always a blessing. You give, you help, you support, and you feel amazing doing it. But here's the hidden danger. The more you give, the less it is appreciated over time. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine helping someone just once. They're grateful, they thank you, maybe even celebrate your kindness. Amazing, right? But help them a second time, still appreciate it. The third time, they expect it. The fifth time, it becomes normal. And the 10th, you're just the person who always gives. And here's the cruel twist. The moment you say no, suddenly, you're selfish. You're the villain. Everyone forgets the 9 times you went above and beyond. They only remember the one time you didn't. This happens in families, friendships, and at work. Parents who always provide for their kids experience the same trap. Employees who always say yes to extra tasks are taken for granted. Friends who always pay for dinner become the automatic ATM. Why does this happen? It's called hedonic adaptation. Humans quickly get used to good things. What once felt extraordinary becomes expected. Your generosity loses its power, and your kindness starts to feel invisible. But there's a way out. Machiavelli taught us secret centuries ago. Benefits ought to be conferred gradually, and in that way they will taste better. Scarcity creates value. When your help is selective, people notice it. When your generosity is intentional, it earns respect instead of dependency. Here's the key. Give strategically, not endlessly. Ask yourself before helping, does this align with my values and goals? Can I give without draining myself? Will this person truly appreciate what I'm doing? If the answer is no, even once, you don't say yes blindly. You say no strategically, kindly, and firmly. When you do say yes, you give fully. Your help becomes meaningful, memorable, and powerful. Think of historical examples. Mother Teresa didn't try to help everyone on the planet. She focused on the poorest of the poor. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't confront every minor injustice. He confronted the injustices that mattered. Their generosity was precise, impactful, and respected. Your challenge right now, type this in the comments. I give strategically. From today, your generosity stops being a weakness that creates entitlement. Instead, it becomes a weapon of influence that builds respect, loyalty, and real impact. In the next part, we'll reveal the mask of virtue, how appearances can give you power even when being truly good is complicated. We've just uncovered how generosity can turn into a trap. But here's a deeper truth. The world doesn't reward those who are truly good. It rewards those who appear good. Let that sink in for a second. People judge based on perception, not reality. And this is where the mask of virtue becomes one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. Think about it. Politicians stand on stages and preach about honesty, family values, justice. Are they always living those virtues behind the scenes? Absolutely not. Many are ruthless, cunning, and willing to bend rules, but they maintain the mask. And the mask is what keeps them in power. Now, don't get this twisted. I'm not telling you to be fake. I'm telling you a fact. What people believe about you matters more than what is actually true. You could be the kindest person alive, but if others perceive you as weak, they'll exploit you. On the other hand, you could be ruthless behind closed doors, but if people perceive you as principled, honorable, and virtuous, they will trust you, follow you, even defend you. Here's how the mask works. Control your narrative. Share only the parts of yourself that build the image you want others to see. Don't reveal every truth. You don't owe the world your deepest flaws, insecurities, or mistakes. Keep those for your inner circle, or keep them to yourself. Project strength through consistency. When your words and actions line up, even partially, people believe the rest. Let me give you a real-world example. Steve Jobs was known as a visionary. People saw him as this genius who changed the world with Apple. But behind closed doors, he could be manipulative, cold, and ruthless to his employees. Yet, the mask he presented, the visionary innovator, was so powerful that history remembers him as a legend, not as a tyrant. Or take Julius Caesar. He presented himself as a man of the people, humble, generous, even merciful. But in truth, he was a master manipulator, consolidating power until he became dictator for life. His mask of virtue gave him the trust he needed to rise to ultimate power. The harsh reality is this: people don't dig deep. They don't investigate your soul. They believe what they see, what they hear, what you project. That's why your mask matters. So here's your power move. Craft your mask intentionally. Decide what you want to be known for: discipline, intelligence, loyalty, strength, and then live in a way that constantly signals those traits. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Drop this in the comments right now. My mask protects me. Because remember, your mask isn't about lying. It's about protecting your true self, controlling your narrative, and making sure others see the version of you that strengthens your position. In the next part, we'll uncover the balance of fear and love, the eternal question of whether it's better to be feared or loved, and how the truth will change the way you deal with people forever. We've talked about masks and appearances, but now we come to one of Machiavelli's most famous and most misunderstood ideas. The question that every leader, every parent, every boss, every human being in power has asked: is it better to be feared or to be loved? Here's the brutal truth. In a perfect world, you'd want both. You'd want people to love you and respect you, to admire your kindness while never daring to cross you. But we don't live in a perfect world. And when you have to choose, fear is safer than love. Why? Because love is fragile. Love is based on emotions, and emotions change. Today, people may love you. Tomorrow, they may envy you, resent you, or simply move on to someone else. Love depends on loyalty, and loyalty, as we know, is rare. But fear? Fear is consistent. Fear doesn't change with moods. Fear keeps people in line even when they don't like you. Fear prevents betrayal when love would crumble under pressure. Think about it. How many people do you like but don't truly respect? Now think about the opposite. How many people do you respect deeply, even if you don't like them? Respect often grows out of fear, the fear of disappointing them, the fear of facing consequences, the fear of underestimating them. Now, here's the trick most people miss. It's not about becoming a tyrant. A tyrant inspires hate. And hate is dangerous because hate motivates action. When people hate you enough, they will risk everything to destroy you. The sweet spot, the Machiavellian sweet spot, is this: be respected with a touch of fear, but without crossing into hatred. It's like fire. Too little, and people won't take you seriously. Too much, and you burn everything down, including yourself. The balance is everything. Let me give you an example. Think of a great teacher or coach you had. Did you love them all the time? Probably not. Sometimes they were tough, strict, even intimidating. But you respected them. You didn't slack off in their presence. You didn't lie to them. Why? Because you feared the consequences of disappointing them. That fear created discipline, and over time, it created growth. Now compare that to the cool teacher who wanted everyone to love them. No discipline, no standards. At first, you thought they were fun, but in the end, you didn't learn much. You didn't respect them. Their love meant nothing because it had no backbone. That's the truth in life, in leadership, in relationships. Love makes people comfortable, but fear makes people careful. And when it comes to survival, careful matters more than comfortable. So here's the move. Aim for respect first. Add enough warmth, enough kindness, enough love to keep people loyal, but never at the cost of your authority. If you must choose, choose fear over love, because fear protects you when love fades. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose respect over affection, because in a world where power matters, it's not enough to be liked. You must be respected, and respect always carries a little bit of fear. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into power itself, the hidden economics of power, and how your time, energy, and resources are the real currency that determine whether you rise or fall.